Hello and welcome. Are you ready for a world first? This is the first possible endless endurance video at Mount Panorama. I never even thought about giving this a try, didn't know this was even available because I hadn't gotten this far in the series. Watch this at corner one. This is just insane. Already going 300 kilometers an hour. There's going to be some more arcade style driving, which is going to mean wall riding and stuff like that, so don't go nuts. That's pretty nuts though. Doing a race like this is really not possible without doing some tricks. Might not need to do as severe as I'm doing, but this wasn't easy to trigger. So yeah, we're doing a few things here. Now watch closely. I was just in the air. This car is so fast that even over slight bumps or slight hills, you can go airborne. And if you're turning when that happens, your car can violently spin in the air because it's not on the ground. Yes, that was another wall ride. Up to 3 wall rides per lap. And a huge off-track cup coming up here. That last wall ride isn't as necessary, but again, it's not easy to trigger this. By the way, watch this. Airborne again. We'll do a slow motion version of that at some point. And then this cut. So 2 cuts, 3 wall rides. And you'll get a chance to see how possible this is. This is in the series called Unrivaled, which is in season 1 of Road Collection. You don't need to be fully upgraded to do that series, but you're going to need to be very close to being fully upgraded to pull this off. Like, you could probably do this without the last engine upgrade, for an example. If that one's all gold, I don't actually remember. I'm just saying, if there's a really expensive gold upgrade, you could probably skip it and still pull this off. I am fully upgraded because of the exclusive series, and I did that quite a while ago. So, oops! Oh, that's really bad. Don't want to do that. Interesting thing with any car and walls is when you hit a wall, about 1 second later, the car will wag back and forth kind of strangely, and you can end up clipping more walls because of that. That effect is definitely amplified when you have a car that goes 400, even 500 kilometers an hour, which I'm about to do. 500 right there, 513, 14, look at this. Pretty big jump actually. Like, it's so fast, but I pretty well jumped the entire road. That's pretty crazy, guys. It took me a while. I had to do some training to kind of figure out how I wanted to do this. You've got to be really careful with these wall rides. There's definitely some science in this, or some technique. You're going to notice I go kind of over to the left, and you just got to, like, that's a little more violent than I want to be. If you get too violent with wall rides, you will damage your car. Like, you'll take out the windshield. Woo! Getting out of a wall ride, as you just noticed, can actually be very difficult. So often I do a very slight release of the accelerator and then reapply it. We'll see if I do that better coming up here. Check this out. Woo, get around him. Hopefully no ghosts hitting my rear end here. And then I probably get an overtake here. Yep, watch this. Watch my accelerator. That time I kept it pinned. Sometimes I lift for a little bit. Sometimes I can keep it pinned. Always have to lift for a tiny bit during this cut. You'll notice that. It just helps to regain traction. So watch this. Watch my accelerator. Slight lift. There we go. Very controlled. That's not easy. That's definitely, hit the wall. That's definitely very far from being easy. This corner, even after the bots are getting super difficult, you can take that not full throttle. You can gain on the bots. Sorry, you definitely cannot take corner 1 full throttle. I'm taking this pretty fast. You notice I thrash it sideways. Sometimes I use the brakes to start a skid, like here. Oh, actually that time I didn't. Pretty good. Now here, I'm full throttle for quite a while. Only a slight braking point, sometimes a slight lifting point coming up here. I was a little airborne again, you see that? And then sometimes I go off track. Like there. Nuts. Just checking my windshield, still looks good. Doing another wall ride here. That's pretty good. Definitely, if you get the wall ride correct there, you definitely come out of that corner with more speed than if you take the corner properly. It's a tricky technique. So the wonderful thing about this car is also the problem, and that is its insane speed. Now, don't get me wrong, this car actually has incredible braking ability. it just doesn't feel like it because you're going so stinking fast. This car is shockingly fast. I once did a head-to-head race. The link is up top right now, where it's the Bugatti Bolide versus the Hennessy Venom F5 versus the Koenigsegg Jesko versus the McLaren MP4X. We test 0 to 100 to 200 to 300 to 400 and to 500 to see which is the actual fastest car. And I was a little surprised by those results. So, with all those cars, well, I'm like, except for the McLaren, oh, here we go. Pretty big jump, actually. So with everything except for the McLaren MP4X, it feels like you don't have very good brakes. But now, bear in mind, the McLaren MP4X is a fantasy car. I believe it's the only car in this whole game that doesn't exist. Everything else actually exists. So, anyways, wall rides become necessary to a degree, that was close, because of how long you have to sit on the brakes. And look at that! Not even 30 kilometers. Oh, I was really close to hitting the wall. And the one wall, I took the other wall. You know, the wall on the left would have been brutal. That's the perpetual point up there. Okay, if you're new to this, that is why I have to go so fast. That is why I have to do wall rides and take cuts. If you could do this without doing that, you already would have. So this means I have passed 42 cars. That's it. It's not about, don't focus on my distance. The first couple of times I did this at this track, I was a lap further into this. This is the earliest I've ever caught it. It's not about distance, it's not about laps, it's about how many cars did you pass. You must pass 42 cars to have this happen. What is this? This is an endless train of bots. I'm going to slow down a little bit and be careful, because I know I'm going to get a bunch at this big cut. See if I can get one or two here. One for sure. Ooh, close. Probably get 2, 3, or 4 at the cut. So once I hit this, it's easier and difficult. I know that makes no sense at all. It's more difficult because the bots are now faster than a fully upgraded car. Ooh, only got 2. But another one here, 3. But they take the corners really bad. And then when I'm doing cuts and drifting and all sorts of stuff, obviously I'm taking even more advantage of that. Almost filled my timer up there, or did I? I don't think I quite filled it. So once you get the hang of this race, it's actually not too bad. Now the trick is to see what happens after I get damaged. So let's just see where the cars go. They all disappeared. They're going to be all up here again. They're all going to be a big group. I just got to catch up. Big slide here. Not bad. I'm still not coming out of that very good. Wall riding is an interesting technique. So a very important part of wall riding, don't let your nose touch. Don't let the front end touch that wall. You can as you're entering the wall ride, but then you got to keep your nose off the wall for the entire ride. If your nose touches the wall, it'll dig in and you'll lose a bunch of speed. Just watch. Ooh, my nose touched a little bit. I went down to just over 140 kilometers an hour versus being 200 kilometers an hour coming out of there. So you've got to have your device tilted pretty extremely, but you're also paying attention. Now it's difficult when I'm tilting extremely because I don't use that tilt display feature, because I find it makes me really sick when I'm watching races. I'm getting really sick of hitting that last wall. Anyway, it makes me feel sick to have the screen tilt back and forth, and it's not an accurate match. It just doesn't match very good. But when I started making videos, I turned it off for you guys. So what happens is sometimes I'm doing something like this and I've got my head turned sideways. It looks hilarious. Same with the next one. Now I should be able to, let's see if I took it normally this time. Just to see what it was like. Yeah, even if I get kind of a sloppy wall ride, I think it's still better. But I'll catch this guy heading into here. Look, woo, that was pretty airborne. And overtake him carefully. Oh, I'm not very happy about this. I'm gonna throw it sideways. Throwing the car sideways when it's all-wheel drive, only then, gives you extra braking. So that as a technique you'll see some people use sometimes, even in time trials. Sometimes they'll huck the car sideways to get a little bit of quicker braking out of it. The trick is to get it thrown back straight without wasting time. Now that's very difficult. Look at this. Woo! I took another big off-track cut to avoid damage. Don't want to do that. Once damage happens, my technique changes a bit. Once I have maximum damage, I can then do bump passing. I can late brake and hit the car in front of me. Oh, that was a really bad corner. There's other things you can do to keep the race going easier. Right now, I'm trying to avoid damage, so sometimes I'm really hurting my progress. That's a pretty good one. Sometimes I'm really hurting progress to keep my progress going. So I'm hurting forward momentum to limit damage. Now, can I get even 2 before the top of the hill? Let's see. Slow down a bit too much there. That's surprising. 1 there. Should be able to get 1 here, but I'm gonna hang back. I could have pushed it. I don't need... Oh, what's that? He came up and hit me. That's unusual. Oh, a wag right when I'm trying to get into a wall ride. Hey, that was pretty good. That was a nice wall ride. I'm happy anytime I come out of that at 180. So I should still be hitting 500, depending on the bots, if they're in my way. Let's see if I hit 5. Oh, easily hit 5. I didn't go too much more than 5. Bots were in my way. Wig-wagging all over the place. Still though, oh, and again, I'm getting so sick of that. Man, I gotta really rein that in. It just feels so bad. There we go. Beautiful corner 1. Gotta utilize the drive off there. It's not off track. There's a curb and there's some asphalt on the other side of the curb, and the game allows me to drive there. Woo, that's a very high-speed drift, isn't it? Over 200 kilometers an hour drifting there. Ooh, still come out of that a little bit sloppy. I can come out of that better. I got to keep working at it. And then we got to watch this section where I can get airborne, not here, right here. Let's see if it happens. Yeah, happened again. That's so funny. Here I might take off. Again, I'm overdriving it a little bit there. I'm not getting on the brakes early enough heading up the hill. Ooh, really lost my momentum there. Let's see if I can actually hit 500. Okay, my windshield's still clear. I'm not going to have any bots in the way, so... Oof, my speed, what's going on? Well into the... Well, not well. Woo! Well enough into the 500s. Anytime you're going over 500, it feels amazing. Oh, look! The bots are getting closer together. Why is that? That's because my laps are being more consistent. Consistently fast laps will get the bots grouping even closer together. Now that's a potential problem. They could start crashing. I don't think it'll happen here. I've definitely had it happen at Le Mans and at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where the bots get so close. Ooh, overtake, that was nice. That might have been my best one. So the bots can get so close together that they end up crashing in the corners, which is really funny and unexpected. I'll get him on the brakes. Best to be on the brakes before the white and red curb on the right ends as you're heading up the mountain. Extremely early in this car. All braking points are extremely early. Oh, see that? Horrible. That was me drastically overturning while I was trying to do that wall ride. So you don't want to over tilt. You got to have a feel for how fast you're entering to know how much you need to tilt. Now that's sketchy. Big jump there. Oh, wasting all sorts of time, but that's okay. And avoided my front end hitting him. You do not want front end contact. But there you can see I've been refilling my timer a few times. Beautiful corner 1. Look at that. I probably will get a bot in this next corner, I think so. Let's see, maybe even 2. Ooh, almost 2. That was risky. Oh, that one cracked my windshield. Oh, nuts. Now I'm all sorts of messed up. Really threw me off there. I shouldn't be looking so much. Some of you have actually commented on that, saying, how can you check while you're racing like this? I don't know, I'm just used to doing it. So, I might do some more abusive techniques now. Like, contact, who cares? Actually, I don't think I had maximum damage yet. Well, now I do. That was... Oh, you see that? He's all over the place. By the way, I wanted to thank the person that suggested this race to me, and I can't find your comment. I'm so sorry, but since you asked me to give this a try, I've had well over 100 or 200 comments. Sometimes I get 100 comments in one day. So I tried to find it and I couldn't. I apologize. But thank you for suggesting this race. It is fun. Now the question is, of course, if you know me, the question is this profitable? That's going to be the second question. Usually that's the most important question. However, this is the first endless endurance race at Mount Panorama. If someone has done a video about it, I couldn't find it. I did Google several different things. I did YouTube searches. I searched through a lot of videos. I could find no evidence that anyone has ever done this. Even amongst my friend list, when I did this several times, and I couldn't see anyone who went over 52 kilometers. So, and they stopped at a very strange distance, which tells me that the time ran out naturally. Whoa, all kinds of messed up here. Well, my goal is 100 kilometers. That's when we're going to stop, and we will get into the profitability. Now, I can tell you there's already 2 very good endless endurance races for this car. Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course and Dubai Autodrome. Gosh, is it the national or international circuit? I want to say it's the national circuit. It's a shorter circuit. That one's fun too, because you take a big jump every single lap. Pretty big jump. Oh, pretty big jump every single lap. And you will see videos to both of those at the end of this video. They are both very good options for this car. Another one is actually the Le Mans race. There's 2 versions of that one, and the one that's worth your time is in the exclusive series. The one that's in Unrivaled does not pay good at all, so don't waste your time on that one. It's hard, very, very hard to do, but it is fun. So check that out. It'll be at the end of this video. Now, hitting the top of the mountain again. This should be much more controlled. There you go, then I can get on the throttle earlier and really gain and power around this guy, wall ride it. That was okay. So what about the special event? End of the Road is arguably the best series you will ever see. You can earn this car for less than free. Okay, well, how's that possible? You can win this car without buying any upgrades. Well, isn't that just free? No, that's less than free, because you earned currency for every single race you ran, and you earned gold and bonus currency along the way. Every time you finish a stage, you get $R and gold. So you got paid. I got paid to earn this car with no upgrades. Cheaper than free. Now, of course, there's no shame in adding upgrades to earn this car. It's well worth it. Ooh, that was close to a disaster. If you hit that wall wrong, it is devastating. And I was very close to devastating. Pulling out of that, much cleaner. I'm happier with that. So it's no shame at all in adding all $R upgrades. I believe that's going to be all tier 1. It's worth it, but I'll throw that. And like I said before, we'll have a few other videos available at the end of this race. Now, let's see if I can do a good wall ride. A little overtake there. That's not bad. I'd like to... That was not a very good wall ride. I was hoping to get another overtake there. Still, though, as you can see, this isn't bad. Like, this is, once you get the hang of it, I wonder if I'll still hit 500, because that was really bad entrance. No, really bad entrance. Oh, by the way, here's what I talked about bump passing. I'm going to smash this guy and then get around him. Now, we should talk a little bit more about the Le Mans race, because that one is tricky. So, you're on the brakes so early, it's shocking. Like, I had to find all new braking points, which is not normal. Usually you just use your same braking points and you just adjust them a bit. Not with this car. You've got to find completely different braking points, because you're on the brakes drastically earlier than pretty well any other car. Well, I mean, Koenigsegg Yes Go, Hennessy, Venom F5 would have similar braking points, not the same. It's just... But it's such a fast car. I remember watching a video Speed Junkie did. He did Monza Autodrome. So, Monza road course. He did 3 laps in under 3 minutes. Like, including the first lap from a dead stop. That's just crazy. Now, he was cutting and stuff like that. But still, pretty crazy. Pretty sure he was cutting. That's quite a few years ago now. Anyhow, this is going to come to a close pretty soon. We've got one more lap to go, I think. See if we can take another jump. Tiny bit of a jump there. Ah, it's so much fun. Still, you can see maximum damage. I'm still filling up the timer with really no issues at all. Cars are still staying nicely grouped together. Corner 1, I can still gain. Not close enough to do the pit maneuver, but I'm easily going to overtake this guy at corner 1. Might catch another car. Sorry, corner 2. Corner 2. Might catch a car at corner 3. I don't think so. I think they're too far away. Let's see here. Oop, that was a very bad... I decided I'd try to take that properly, but that didn't quite do it. I might still catch a car heading up to the top of the mountain. Let's just see. Oh, no, I'm not. They overbrake quite a lot. You'll notice I'm on the brakes a little bit earlier, trying to control this. When you control it, now you're blasting through on the throttle. Get a guy at the here, maybe. Oh, very close. That's okay. So, the last car I passed was at corner 2. And look at my timer. 40 seconds. That's not a big deal at all. And then I'll get 1 or 2 at this last cut here. Let's see. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 probably before the last. Well, it's quite a lot. We're going to end this at exactly 100 kilometers. I freeze frame so you can see that. Then I go back and I make sure to finish the race at this point. Actual race time was 20 minutes and 26 seconds. So my fame per minute was 551. R per minute was 4,948. That includes the friends bonus. Not great earnings, but an awesome time. Check out some other videos for better earnings races. Please like, please subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.